Let's talk about Casey Neistat a bit. This is a political topic, more or less. It's a YouTube topic, I guess, because there was a few responses that I enjoyed seeing to this. So Casey Neistat is a really big YouTuber. I was actually not really familiar with his work before that. He does travel and adventure videos. He has 5.5 million subscribers. So what he did was a strange video going against, I guess, against type or against something you would have a YouTuber that's not normally associated with politics or
basically he brought politics into his channel where he's normally never touched it before.
Sure. Straight up at the camera saying, guys, this is important, I want to talk to you about something. So he starts off with stuff that I think was totally fine. He starts off by saying, I'm going to be voting for Hillary Clinton. And this is why. I think Trump is dangerous. What you've heard this political season. He's in a dark room talking about this. He says, I don't usually talk about politics stuff, but this is what I want. I want to vote for Hillary Clinton. This is why. You should go out and do it. Blah, blah. All right, that's fine. I don't care. You do what you ever want. He actually said, I avoid talking politics on this channel on this forum because politics are divisive. There's always two sides. Republicans and Democrats. There's left and right. I can have my own opinion. There will always be an opposing one. That is the nature of a healthy democracy. But this is not that. This is about a megalomaniac who is driven by nothing but ego. A man who cares exactly zero about the people of this country. A person who brags about sexually assaulting women and shames others for the way they look. I'm speaking up now because this election has very little to do with politics, policy, or legislation. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. That's what he said. This election has to do with morals and principles. Then he talks about how he's voting for Hillary. Again, this is fucking fine. I have no problem with
No, I mean, this is up to this point. I mean, yeah, that's
okay.
Cool.
So he even says, this is more about voting against Trump than for Hillary Clinton. But this is where he kind of goes off the fucking rails here. I want to end this by calling out all the big YouTubers. Some I know and some of you viewers might know. See, making videos like this, they're not popular, even though this video got a shit ton of views. They're not going to get you subscribers. They're not going to boost your view counts. But there is something much more valuable to subscribers or dollars, and that's backbone. That is not being scared to stand up to what is right, regardless of the cost. The top 20 YouTubers reach over 1 billion views every week, every 7 days. We have the power to activate a demographic and electorate that isn't typically very active. That is young people. This generation, if we all band it together, we have the power to ensure that this tax-avoiding, lying, racist, misogynist stays away from power and out of the White House, but it requires all of us coming together. All right. Okay.
All right.
So, if your favorite YouTuber says things like, I don't like to talk politics on my channel, or I'm not going to reveal who I'm voting for, call them out. Sitting on the sidelines this time around is not okay. This election is different. And if this guy gets elected and you stood back with your arms folded and didn't speak out against him, it makes you complicit. It makes you partially responsible for handing him the reins of power. All right, I'll see you tomorrow for a fun, happy video. All right, Casey. You know what's not part of a healthy democracy? Forcing people to reveal their political beliefs and forcing them to campaign politically. That's not part of a healthy democracy. Part of a healthy democracy, Casey, is people having the right to the privacy of their political beliefs and what they want to do. And I'd be saying the same thing if you said the same thing about voting for Hillary or Trump. It makes no fucking difference. The fact of the matter is, it's counterintuitive and counterproductive, mind you, to tell people to go after other people to endorse a particular candidate. That I don't know what the hell you were thinking saying this or how this is a good idea, because at the very best what you're going to do is have YouTubers that don't want to talk about this, even if they agree to you, awkwardly going on their channel and making a political statement when they really don't have to. It's up to them totally. You're forcing them into this strange spot, and this has happened where you have now people going onto bigger YouTubers' channels and saying, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you saying who you're voting for? And in this already extremely divisive election, which could be one of the most divisive we might ever see in our lifetime. I don't see how this fucking helps at all. I just don't. And I'm just gonna call out motivation here, just because, and this is gonna go into other directions, is that the timing is particularly weird for this. If this Mr. Neistat really fucking cared about Trump not getting into power, why did he wait until after the polls were tilted against Trump, where Hillary's in a commanding lead now, and not a month ago where Trump was basically tied or a little bit in the lead? It just comes across phony to me and disingenuous, and I just don't fucking get it. There's no advantage to doing this at all. I think it makes you look like, to me, have less of a backbone doing this, and it just stirs up trouble where it's not needed. And honestly, if you're looking for fucking YouTubers to tell you how to fucking vote, I don't want you to fucking vote. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
No, I mean, that was actually going to be my main point. I don't have a whole lot to say on it. At first, it's like I said, I agree with, I mean, everything's fine, but then telling people that they have to disclose their political beliefs is it's bizarre and overreaching. But my big thing, this is how I feel. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. If you need a YouTuber to convince you, if a YouTuber is going to convince you on who you want to vote for, I feel like you're
not an informed electorate at that point.
It comes down to this. I've always said that if you don't know platform policy, if you don't know, don't vote just to vote.
Yes.
I really believe that, yes, people need to get out and vote. More people need to vote. But if you don't fucking understand, if you truly don't fucking understand what's going on, don't vote. When I go and I vote, and I get to that huge list of props, and I don't know them, I don't just fucking wing it. Mm-hmm. I don't just read the tiny little paragraph and assume I know what's going on. If I don't know something about, one of the candidates, further down the list, I don't just fucking fill in the blank. I vote what I know.
You won't vote for the comptroller if you don't know?
I might toss a coin on the comptroller. No, I mean, but I'm being serious. I believe that voting is very important and everyone should vote, but you also need to be politically informed. And if your decision hinges on some YouTuber telling you to go vote for someone
who never talks about politics,
then fucking sit down and do some. Now, if that person gets you to go out and research the candidates, and you go learn something about the candidates, and you make your decision, and that person pushed you in that direction, then fine. But I don't like this whole idea of, and it's not just, now I'm talking broader, I really fucking get steamed when people, and now it's just in general, people don't think for themselves. When people look to their favorite people online to tell them what they should be thinking and don't think for their fucking selves.
Sure, and that's why there's a backlash between some groups when they see these like celebrities, get together and make these videos, these political, because it's like, okay, you have a platform, doesn't mean what you're saying has any weight to it, really, for my concerns. And the same thing here with big YouTubers. Do I really need to hear fucking PewDiePie's opinion on politics?
No.
And he was one of the guys who called out. Guess what? I don't think PewDiePie can fucking vote in this country. So like, why? No. So why? Like, why would I care? It doesn't make a goddamn difference. So yeah, and I'm very proud that a proper response from people like H3H3 and Boogie2988 said, no, vote for whoever the fuck you want to, and be informed, and actually in those two cases say you're not forced to pick between the two political parties. You can vote a third party. That's what they both said. That's what I always said. and that's also your option as well. And that's what democracy is as well. It's not always a for or against vote. It's in theory, it's supposed to be voting for who you think will do the best job. And when you think you're forced to vote for one of two parties, that's how you end up how we are now, where you're picking between two candidates that are both unlikable. And that's just not me saying that. That's in the polls, which has never happened before. I don't think in a very long time where you had the two candidates both under 50% in the likability factor. Whole other conversation, but good on people trying to, pump the brakes a little bit on this and not, calling out fucking mobs to say, oh, tell me who you believe in or who you want to vote for.
Hold the mayo.
Hold the mayo?
Hold the mayo.
Do you not like mayo?
No, I'm saying calm down.
I am calm.
No, not you. I'm talking about people in general.
Oh,
with,
okay.
With this shit.
My cousin used to put globs of mayo on his pizza.
I've actually put mayo on pizza before. It's pretty good.
That's fucking disgusting.
It's not. I mean, I don't do it all the time, but it's not bad.